Oh, we're kicking, baby.
Dude, it's June.
Happy June.
Happy June. Happy Pride to those who observe. I'm going to say not my uncles, probably the majority of them. But, you know, their daughters, which is always great. What's up, TJ?
What's going on,
How's
Duff?
it hanging, man?
Oh, we're good.
We're good.
My Isabella connected to my
Your
computer
laptop?
again.
Oh, man.
Why does that happen?
She's going to hear all the pornography.
Apple, you got to figure this out, man.
It's no good.
Just connecting to all this.
That's all right. You should connect into the pod.
Yeah, she can. Well, she did connect into the show.
We got a third mic.
Yeah. I have been getting asked when we're doing the Girlfriends app.
We should do a Girlfriends app at some point. Yeah, we'll work it in.
That'd be fun.
Busy schedules all abound.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I'm afraid they're going to hate that. They're going to watch the show and be like, really? You're spending all your time
doing this? Well, it's like
it?
a nice little reprieve, man. I'm in the middle. I was just telling you, I'm in the middle of like a 3-week kind of, not bender. Bender's the wrong word. But it's
kind of.
It's a marathon.
I mean,
like.
Between a bachelor party and a wedding and a Memorial Day weekend down the Jersey Shore, it's kind of a bender.
I'm doing a lot.
Like.
I'm busy for the next 3 weekends. Or I'm sorry, I've been busy for 2 weekends, and now this is the last one. This is a nice little. This is my vacation. This is me watching some Drew Carey show, man. It's
your vacation
relaxing.
from life.
Yes, exactly.
From reality.
I just get to undo my belt a little bit and let my shoulders loose. It's good. Yeah.
Live like Drew.
Live
really,
like Drew.
That's what it is.
Man, I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
A little couch potato.
Yeah, they've really. He's really big in this show, man. I forget. Like I know we were talking in season 2 about him losing all that weight.
I feel that he put some on, or were we just delusional,
or are they just dressing him worse? Like there were some scenes in this first app that we're going to talk about where I'm like, man, you got to pull up the pants a little.
I mean,
bit.
They're doing the same thing with Nikki.
Well, that's true.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but that's.
I think the pivot there is crazy.
I think that's a little more makeup and stuff. They're clearly putting it on.
Clearly,
the actress. They're putting it on. Yeah. But yeah, man. We're on season 3, 16 and 17. I think we're getting near the end, but this is like where they start making the 24 episode seasons.
Yeah,
so like we still have like a half dozen episodes.
Yeah, we still got a few more
through.
eps of this.
Yeah. And the arcs keep going, man. We're like really like this is a show that is now like season 1. It felt like it was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, you know, you can pick up wherever you want. Sometimes there's like a 2-episode arc.
No. Now we're in the middle of a legal dispute.
Yeah,
and
then we've got some love triangles going on. There's a lot happening. You couldn't just drop into this one and be like, oh yeah, I know.
But you could just drop into this episode of Cleveland Rocks.
You can always drop into Cleveland Rocks.
We'll get you all set. We'll get you all caught up.
We'll cradle you. Don't worry. You're safe.
Yeah, season 3, episode 16, The Salon.
The Salon
is where we're starting.
I enjoyed this.
I didn't know what salon.
You had never heard the phrase before? It's like an older term. It's like grease.
I mean, I knew like. I obviously knew of like a hair salon.
This is a salon, I would say.
Yes, but I was thinking even like a room in your house.
Oh, sure.
People have those rooms that are called the salon, and it's usually like lots of chairs, sort of. And now I get it.
Yeah, it's where you go to discuss social issues.
No, I feel stupid. I didn't really know about this.
I think a theme of this episode is feeling stupid.
Yeah,
so you're kind of okay.
I'm right there with the cast.
Yeah.
I'm right there with all the actors.
I'm right there. I'm right there with my friends Kate and Lewis, feeling like a big dum-dum.
Yeah.
We start though with Mimi still on mailroom duty. This poor woman cannot catch a break.
No, I don't. This is like, you think because obviously she's in mailroom duty because of the lawsuit with Wick, the sexual harassment lawsuit, and they need to keep them separate. Do you think that she's like getting screwed on the pay too or anything else?
No, probably
like,
not.
They just were like,
she's like a secretary, right?
Right, but like did her job change? They're like, you're gonna have to work here for a little bit, but you still have the same title, same pay, same.
Yeah,
I'm worried about
her career opportunities.
Career.
How do you explain that gap in your resume?
I mean,
Ms.
this
Bobek?
is bullshit to get sexually harassed, and then now you have a lesser job.
Yeah. No, I hear you. She's in the mailroom though, regardless, and she comes by with Drew's paycheck, and she lights it on fire.
Also, a crazy thing. All right, so this
just do that.
To just light your because there was no direct deposit in this era. Like, Drew needed that.
Don't you understand? I had to cash that.
Yeah,
I gotta go to the teller.
He had to take that to the fucking bank or something. At least I don't think there was direct deposit.
No, there was probably direct deposit in the 90s.
Hold on. Okay, I gotta look.
We're gonna
this
go
up.
to the Google machine. Regardless, though, I do just want to say Drew is very happy with it because he makes the best out of a bad situation, and he decides to roast a marshmallow over his flaming paycheck. Paycheck. Folks, it is Tuesday night, and I'm stone cold sober. I have no...
Oh, yeah. It was in the 90s.
But when specifically?
By the late 1880... sorry, not 18...
Ye old direct deposit.
By the late 1980s and into the 90s, direct deposit was becoming more widespread.
That's probably why Y2K was such a big deal.
By 1992, it was a significant portion of the working population getting it. So
there you go. 1992.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I stand corrected. So he didn't need that. Fuck that paycheck.
You get your paycheck mailed, though, right?
No.
No?
I haven't had like physical paychecks since I was like I had like a job in high school.
I have direct deposit set up, and they still mail out my paycheck.
Yeah. I think you
week.
can get like paper copies.
Yeah, I don't ask for it. I've asked for the opposite, and they say they cannot disable.
Really?
Yeah,
You can't?
They have to mail out my paychecks.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I definitely I remember when I was at my former employer, they would send me they would send it to me, and then I did opt out of it. It was easy. It was fine. They didn't put up a fuss. But
I would love to do it. If you hear me, anyone I work with, and you know how to do it.
We don't get your paychechs at this address anymore.
No, that's true. I switched it. I know. You did for a little bit, though. There was like a stretch where I was kind of nomadic. I was living at Stasia's apartment.
I was
but
just
not
keeping
really.
track of Shane's finances,
There was a stretch of 3 months when we moved from the East Harlem apartment where my paychecks were still getting delivered there. Now, you can't cash them, too. That's the other thing. Because I do direct deposit, it's all voided. But like, there's like at least... trying to do math, 12 paychecks that went to our old address.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know whatever happened with them.
I'm sure that they have a bunch of stuff.
I'm sure
going there that went there over the year. I'm sure they're getting Christmas cards or whatever.
I don't know if this is the proper place to air this out. We moved into a new apartment back in like February. We have been getting mail from the people who left, and it seems like they left in a hurry because they had a child, because we keep getting baby things mailed to our apartment, like Amazon packages that I think friends are sending with like onesies or like a teething kit or things like this, and I have no idea.
What?
Yeah,
why are you opening their mail?
I'm not. What am I supposed to do with it? I don't know how to get it back to them. It's an Amazon package. Amazon doesn't give a fuck.
Okay, all right.
I was like,
do the same rules apply to Amazon packages as they would to opening?
I think Amazon has less rules than United States Postal Service.
Yeah, okay.
But like, I don't know. After a while, I was just like, I don't know who to even tell about this. My super was so uninterested. We went to him and we were like, hey, what do you think? He's like, I don't know. We don't have an address. And I was like,
I guess you can't do mail forwarding for Amazon packages, can you?
No, you just have to like tell your aunt to send the package to a new address.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they lived, and it's also like it'd be one thing if I thought they were still in the city, but when I Google, it seems they're in Boca Raton.
Oh, man.
And I don't know, having a child and then being like, I'm going to move to Boca Raton, Florida.
I know. I actually used to work with a guy who, the second they had a child, moved to Florida.
To Boca Raton?
Not Boca Raton, but they did move to Florida.
Okay.
We were like, okay.
We're not going to get specific.
Just gonna yeah.
Where's Phil living? We need to... Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
But maybe just find a baby.
Yeah.
If you know any cool babies, give them some new stuff.
What's
Hook them
up,
up.
cool baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know any cool babies, and also, if that is illegal, just don't tell me. I don't want to know that I've committed mail crime by opening somebody's child's packages.
The next step, I'm going to be doing it solo, and I'm going to Shane's house was raided.
You know what it's going to be?
They found all his baby shit.
It's going to be like Serial, where she calls in from the prison, and it's just like, I'm trying to talk to Ahmed or whatever, but it's me. Yeah. It's me being like, I didn't know.
So... Mimi lights Drew's paycheck on fire, but it doesn't matter because he has direct deposit.
Right, and he makes the most of it. He roasts some marshmallow, but it's in this moment that Kate comes by to apologize for raising sea monkeys in his beer mug.
Yeah.
Just a weird little off, comment.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
This
We
show
need
has
something.
so many of
we need
those.
something.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And then there's like this big convoluted thing. I almost feel like I kind of want to get over this and get into the main thing, but they start spraying each other with silly spray. I guess that does tie back in though.
Yeah. So Drew is like, I guess, to get back at Kate.
He's trying to pull a prank on me. He's trying to pull a prank on Kate, but he pretends he's gonna prank Mimi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he calls over Mimi, and then he pulls out this fake hairspray that actually turns out to be silly string,
And he tries to get Kate to like bite on, like, oh, isn't this great? This product, and then just shoots her with the silly string.
Yeah, so covers Kate in silly string. Miss Louder comes in, starts talking about this new buyer's job, sending someone to Paris.
They've got a lady that's currently working there that is now going to work at Chanel.
Yeah,
fancy pants job, doing like it's like
too
women's
good for
fashion.
the Winfred Louder department. So I blanked on what it was called.
No, it's we've only done 34 episodes. No, Winfred Louder. Yeah, it's I don't know how you would even apply to work at Chanel, like unless you're working at like.
What do you mean? They definitely post on LinkedIn.
Well, in 1997, that I know they didn't have. I know they had direct deposit.
Maybe she got poached.
Maybe. Yeah.
I feel like if you're,
do you think
you're
is this a Chanel in
people,
Cleveland, or is she going to go to like Chanel like abroad?
I figured this was all happening in Europe, right?
Right.
Maybe I was wrong.
I don't know. They Mrs. Louder says in this job that
they would send them to Paris.
They would send the people to Paris to like hobnob with elites and things.
Yeah. I don't really know.
I don't know either.
I don't think it matters where she's going to work.
But anyway, she's leaving, and it's like this fancy women's fashion company, or not company, like department at the mall.
Yeah.
And Kate is immediately interested. She's like, "Oh, I think that would be great. I think I could do it." This, that, the other. While she's like covered in silly string, selling yourself, on the wrong foot to begin with. I think.
Not to mention that I feel like Miss Louder already she does a pull aside with Drew
almost immediately.
She already has some thoughts on Kate. She called her like a carny folk.
Yes,
is what she called her.
Yes, carny folk. I don't know. That's not nice. She's not that bad.
No.
As
Drew says, she's from Cleveland, the Paris of Northeast Ohio.
That's what we call it.
She is cultured in that sense.
Yeah.
But
pinky toe out, I believe, is what they say in Cleveland.
Yeah. There seems to just be an assertion that Kate is not, she wouldn't be suited to go hobnobbing with all the folk in Paris.
You don't know that. I think Kate could hold her own. I think if you get a couple drinks in Kate, she could be just as sophisticated.
I mean, look, I definitely think, if you can get a few drinks in Kate, she seems like a great time.
Absolutely. She's
one
a fun gal.
She's one of the fellas.
Yes, she's one of the fellas. But no, she then decides in this moment, she's going to double down on improving herself to prove to Mrs. Louder that she's the one for this job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you, Kate.
We get the show credits. We come back. This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole episode. They're playing a drinking game at the Warsaw.
Yeah.
Where they've got the TV. It's like Mario's on the TV.
Yeah, some
sort of daytime trash TV show.
Yeah.
And they've taped along the bottom third of the screen. So like they're trying to guess the Maury Chiron. They're trying to figure out what the theme of the episode is.
Who the people are, what's their relation. They're watching it on mute, too, so
they're
you
also
really
watching
have
it on
no
mute. They have
idea.
no clue what it is. We're seeing like two blonde bimbos sort of yelling at each other. We get like this heavier dude with a Nazi swastika tattoo.
Yeah.
It's
on like his forehead.
On his forehead, right in the middle, like Manson
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
I always thought that was crazy, but I mean, I know in general that's crazy.
Face tattoos?
Everything about Manson, yeah, but like specifically that he in jail, right? He did that in jail, carved a swastika into his head. That's different than a tattoo.
Well, you'll do what you got to do to fit in out there. From what I hear, it can be tough run-ins when you don't have a
prison,
crowd.
That's what they say. When your first day in prison, you go up to the toughest, meanest guy in the thing, and you carve a swastika into your forehead in front of him.
Right.
That shows you are the one to mess with. So anyway, they're all trying to guess what it could be. It's, in between, baby mama drama, or like Drew's like, my cousin's a fat Nazi.
Yeah.
It ends up being
They're already fucked up.
yeah, they're all drunk. Lewis is drunk.
Lewis is drinking vodka.
Is smashed.
Yeah.
And it ends up being that the actual Chiron is a Mouseketeer reunion, which just tickled me in such a way.
Yeah.
Those youths were in so much trouble. We didn't know. We had no idea. Some of them ended up okay.
And then they all go back to the table. They all sit around the table. This is where Kate, frankly, starts delving into her problems.
Opening up about this concern she has about not being sophisticated.
Appear sophisticated at least. And this is where Drew pitches the salon idea.
Yeah.
Although we do have this funny aside with Lewis talking about
feels also that he is not impressing his boss.
Yeah.
And the reason he feels that way is because if it seems to him that he's told monkey feces this, monkey feces that, go clean the monkey feces. It's just, I couldn't imagine that if you had to clean up monkey shit all day for a living.
Yeah,
I would get drunk on vodka.
I tell you, I just went to the zoo.
Which one?
The Bronx Zoo. We went to the Bronx Zoo on Saturday and saw a monkey shit.
Hell yeah. Wait, did he throw it at you?
No. But he was just sitting on a branch. And then he just he crawled up. We were like, "Oh, look, he's moving!" And he crawled up the branch and he crawled up to the end. This happened a few times, but this monkey just shit off the
baby monkey.
No, it was an adult, but like mid-sized monkey.
Sure. I got a mid-sized monkey down here. The lottie shit's like a king. You would be loving it.
Yeah, he took a little pee. Everyone was like, "Look, he's peeing," and then we just saw. Yeah. So anyway,
did it land with like a delicate plop?
I didn't catch the landing. The grass was high.
Fair,
but there were a few animals. I'm not gonna lie. It was the best zoo day. One, shout out the Bronx Zoo. Amazing zoo.
Yeah.
Probably the best, if not the second best zoo I've ever been to. All the animals were out. The weather was absolutely perfect, but we saw I think it was like 5 different animals go to the bathroom. I don't know what it was. The grizzly bear was peeing when we got there. The lion was peeing when we got there. The gorilla locked eyes with me.
While it pissed?
I got to show you this photo in a little bit. There was a gorilla maybe like 3 feet from the glass. It sat on a log, and Belle was like, "She's staring at you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And then she started peeing on the log. So anyway, we just saw a lot of that. No, Saturday.
I was gonna say, well, if it was Sunday, maybe it was like drunk piss. You know what I mean? Like maybe they were just like, I gotta get it out from Saturday night.
Yeah. Anyway, the Bronx Zoo was awesome. The bears were playing in the water with like the little ball, and they were just everyone was having a good time.
I gotta do more zoos. Me and you did an aquarium a couple years ago, but I feel like I don't really do a lot of zoos.
No, the Bronx Zoo, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's like I forget how many acres. It's like I think it's like 200 some acres, and like it's dense, and they get just like so many animals. Like sometimes you feel bad. You go to zoos.
I was gonna say I feel like I struggle with it morally a little bit.
But they looked like
they were having a good time.
I just think it was the weather and the fact that they weren't just like baking under the sun. That they were just out. They were playing or they were walking around. They were using the bathroom. It was great. Awesome time.
Yeah.
Shout out the Bronx Zoo. Anyway,
world's your oyster.
I don't remember how we got here. Oh, the monkey feces.
Well, we were talking about monkey feces.
Yeah.
I couldn't clean up monkey shit. Did you see? Well, did anybody have to clean up monkey shit at the Bronx Zoo?
We didn't see anyone clean it up.
Yeah.
No. Do you gotta go in the cages and pick it up?
I don't know. Like it depends how big the cages are.
Like a dog.
An animal.
Sorry, not what I meant. Like a dog, like you would taking a dog on a walk. I don't know.
But anyway,
if you're a zookeeper, write us.
Yeah, let us know. ClevelandRocksPodcast@gmail.com.
Drew pitching the salon to Kate also seems like something that Lewis would be interested in now too.
So he basically realizes you need to present yourself an opportunity. You need to create an opportunity to show Mrs. Lauder that you are the smart, educated, sophisticated person. Why not a salon? What the hell's a salon? None of these people know. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might have known a scene, but I was not really sure what
It's
this
like
was.
I know of it. Like I feel like it's what they use. Like I don't know if
Again,
it's
I knew the room.
Pantheon or whatever, but like I know there are things like in like ancient Rome and ancient Greece where it'd be like all these fucking like dickhead philosophers and their togas would come together and be like, oh yes, let's discuss the the modern society issues.
Well, again, I knew of the room in the house, and honestly, that could have zero connection.
No,
to
it has to have connections. I think it all traces back. I think. No, but anyway, so he suggests we hold a salon, and social issues, political issues. We'll try
they'll predetermine the topics,
Yes.
and they can study up.
So that way they know what I'm interested in, though, and it becomes an issue. Spoiler: how do they know that they're going to agree on these issues? Like, do you think you're picking safe topics? Is that what the hope was here?
Yeah. But you're probably, I don't know if you're them, I don't know. They're probably like, pick something they would be interested in talking about.
Right.
They don't give a shit about art. So they say we're thinking about Miss Lauder, and they're like, oh, so that one of those questions in the salon is about postmodern art movements, the most influential.
What are your three favorites?
They're just they're looking up how to sound smart for dummies.
That's
basically,
true.
And picking those topics. But anyway, so
Kate and Lewis want in on this, though. They think it's a good idea. Eventually, they get turned around on it, and Drew hosts.
Yes,
So
we
Drew
cut to
has
his
the
house.
whole thing in his house.
Cut to his house. There's a bunch of people there.
He's got a ragtag group of people here.
wearing suits.
Yeah, they're all sophisticated as
They
hell.
all look very sophisticated.
Kate's got the glasses on too. I want to just say.
Yes, she does.
I clocked it immediately as a weird thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like that. I don't think it gives like it's how Billie Eilish looks right now.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, if that's how Kate would dress today,
Yeah.
is she would get big like kind of waspy glasses.
Yeah.
And wear those around, and that would just be, I don't know, her personality.
Right. I think a lot of people do that. As somebody who has glasses on right now, I can't see.
Yeah, but you need
though.
them. It's different.
I can't. If you take these off,
I'm sure
I'm blind.
There's people out there that obviously need them that buy these glasses as fashion statements, but come on, some of you guys are drawing a little attention.
Besides,
to yourself.
my personality is very clearly tied to my beard, so it's a different kind of obnoxious.
Similar energy though. Similar
To the
energy.
glasses?
To
Absolutely.
buying a pair of glasses.
Absolutely. The difference is when you buy the glasses, that's it. Like I'm always like I'm molding and like tracing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking crazy with my beard,
You are.
dude. Yeah.
Every day, when we were living together, every week you'd get all the soaps and the potions and the oils.
The potions. I got a new one. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you this story from last week. I got a new beard wash for when I was home last week because I didn't travel with one. And I didn't realize they had, how like some things in bottles will have like a little plastic seal on the front to keep it from squeaking out. I didn't realize, and I'm in the shower, and I went to go squirt it out, and it wasn't coming out. And the top of it's like a fold over design. The back top of it exploded. Half of the bottle, all of this fucking shit just come. No, not on the ceiling, but just all over my parents' shower floor. I was like,
man.
Fuck, man. And then I just lost half of a bottle of beard shampoo. It was pretty bad, but yeah. Anyway, lesson learned: when you're opening a bottle, make sure there's no little seal on the thing.
Yeah.
Important
You convinced me to get into when I was growing a mustache to get into the oils for a little bit. It was nice. I do like the smell.
Yeah, it's a nice scent. I mean, I always say we're getting into beard talk. I always say if you're growing you got to give it like 3 months or something,
Yeah.
But the problem is like if you can't grow it, like, and you grow it for 3 months, you'll really know that you can't.
It's so disappointing. As someone who's been down that road, and you let it go for that long, and then you're like, oh, this is, and you're like waiting. You get every day you wake up, you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, maybe just a few more days that patch is going to fill in.
If I could just borrow some mascara or something.
Then it doesn't. It just, you got this, it looks like a lawn where like you move the trampoline a few times and like some of the grass died. And it's just, some of it's really long and wispy, and you just need Scott's to come in and give you a full manicure.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to hire a guy.
Sponsored by Scott.
Got to hire a guy to come in and just clean up all the damage.
Yeah. Anyway. So, Drew's going around offering fromage doodles.
Fromage Jules,
at his salon.
in his very nice suit. It's basically like it's a bunch of people we don't know who we come to learn are college students, right? That they said
they've been offering beer to at the library to
genius. And it's Drew's neighbors, who we learn then Drew also stole all of his neighbors' suits.
Yeah, or borrowed them. His wife was clearly on it.
Well, the wife is cool.
She's cool. She's
we
like
remember
in
this
on
from the last
schemes.
episode when he was like,
what's his name again? Greg.
I think it's Greg, and I want to say his wife's name is like Erica, but I don't know. It's in my notes somewhere.
But the rich neighbors are over.
Yeah.
And originally they accused Drew of being like, we're just your only sophisticated friends. And they were like, no, look at all these people. And then they fess up to the beer scheme. The one kid, they actually bought a 12-pack because he's missing the bar. So
Janet. Wife's name is Janet.
Janet.
Yeah, they bought the kid.
So anyway, he's got he's got a sophisticated crowd mulling about. And then he's got Miss Louder in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the man who we come to find out is Lewis's drug co.
Lewis's drug co. boss. It is none other than Charles Nelson Riley, famed stage actor.
Yeah,
I know.
Got pretty big applause break.
Absolutely,
for being just not just a stage actor, but an actor of the theater.
Somebody that like we wouldn't. We didn't clock it right away.
And I feel like your regular sitcom watcher probably isn't going to that many shows.
No, I think that's right. Though he was also, I should say, Wikipedia says Match Game. I wonder if he's like a big Match Game guy. I know there's a Weird Al song about this guy, but like gun to my head, I couldn't remember it or sing it to you or anything. I just know that there is like a song called CNR, I think. Yeah. But anyway, he's Lewis's boss. He's very like fun and bubbly. It seems.
He's kind of like he's like a little flamboyant, but he's like I didn't expect him to have that kind of energy, and he's Lewis is putting on a show, I guess.
Yeah, no, he's trying his best. He's running a clinic on this guy, trying to be like, look at me, I'm the smartest man you've ever met. Don't make me clean up monkey shit anymore, please.
Yeah.
So. The time has come now. Oh, Mimi shows up as well. This is an important thing to mention. Mimi comes in. You want to talk about flamboyant? She's got like this like Victorian era dress on, but it's like dyed bright sky blue.
Of course.
Yeah. Never missing a moment.
Yes. Always making an entrance, and she's got her feather fan or whatever, lime green feather fan.
She's trying really hard. Also, it becomes apparent to compete with Kate for this job. She wants just as bad.
I didn't realize that immediately, but obviously we should have assumed. That
career opportunities.
Yeah, Mimi's just out here trying to advance. They all are. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
It is. She can't stay in that mailroom forever, and she sure is not going back to Wick.
So there's a so they pull out a hat.
Yeah, hat has the topics in it.
The hat has all the predetermined topics because why on earth would you just naturally come to a topic of discussion?
That's no fun. I like a randomizer, baby. Let's just put it up to chance-ish.
So I forget what the first topic was. It wasn't the art movements right away.
It was the poetry of James Dickey.
Yes.
And Mrs. Louder talks about how much she loved Dickey in college.
And in the 60s, she was very
really
into Dickey.
And this just sets Oswald off on a giggle fit. The name Dickey is so fun to him. He put it in there, and he was like, and the best thing is it's real. That's a guy's real name. It's Dickey.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that he's like 5 years old all the time.
And then so they can't get over that. They're like, all right, let's move on. If he's going to be in a giggle fit, and they pick out another topic, which it was the most important. Was it most important?
Most influential,
postmodern art. I don't remember which one,
but
whatever.
It's
regardless, it's art.
Imagine it's fancy art talk.
Yes,
and Lewis comes in ready to go.
Yeah, Lewis comes in, looks at his hand, and then reads off 3 just random art movements.
It's surrealism, something else, and then I think he meant Dadaism.
Yeah.
But he says Daddyism. I think he says. So, his boss is really impressed by this and asks him like a very sophisticated follow-up question about like, I think it's like the Guggenheims or something, and like were they competing with another group for influence in a scene, and Lewis just kind of like spirals and panics and fizzles out and was like, I don't know. And this is also where his boss brings up Drug Co. I just love this. It's kind of like an aside. But
they start. So they're like, okay, let's not do art. They're like,
Right.
What if we talk about prisons?
Yes. Naturally, by the way.
And I don't know how they got jumped right into prisons, but that was when the Drug Co. guy comes up and he's like, well, we're actually working on a pill that will make prisons obsolete.
Obsolete. And Mrs. Lauder's like, fascinating. Tell me more. How are you going to do it? And the guy goes, it kills you. The pill kills you.
Yeah.
We're like
just
5 days away
tablet.
from that actually being like an announcement from a pharmaceutical company. I think so.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Those prisons are getting pretty full with all these.
They're closing Rikers.
All the migrants now.
They're closing Rikers. I mean, we're gonna have to eventually.
They're closing Rikers, but aren't they going to open? What is it? What's the one in San Francisco?
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
They're opening Alcatraz again.
That's what he said.
Sunrise, sunset.
Why don't we open Alcatraz? I was just
You can't move everybody from Rikers to Alcatraz, though. God, they're all Yankee fans. The Dodger fans are going to hate it. You can't. No. They're still not over the move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the topic somehow turns to an issue that Kate actually has an honest opinion on, which is censorship on the internet.
Yes.
I don't remember how exactly we got to this, but Drew pitches it as a topic.
Which I guess is something that, I mean, look, we still care about it a bit today.
Oh, I think it's maybe the thing that drove everybody crazy.
I was just, Drew.
Yeah.
Maybe it's.
I think it's maybe the most important issue
thing.
for like the richest guys on the planet.
Yeah, or at least one of the most powerful one.
And I'm not going to name which one. You can guess.
But I was impressed with how fired up that Kate got about it too.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that occurred to me with this was like, it's 1998, 1997.
Yeah.
They still got dial-up.
Right.
You're there hearing the like that's the internet era that they have. Oof. And it takes like 30 seconds, or not 30 seconds, it takes like 30 minutes to load porn. Man, that's an internet that sucks. I don't want that internet.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, granted, maybe people's willpower back then was a little
Sure.
like they're like, because I feel like if you were to
have ADD brain,
if you were to hit someone with that now and you're like, all right, go look up porn, and it took you 30, no chance anyone's looking at porn if it takes you 30 minutes.
God, in 30 minutes, I could do so much more.
Right. I'm like, I'll read a book.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll make dinner.
Yeah.
You mean I gotta wait to jerk off? That's crazy.
No. So anyway,
they have opinions on the internet, and Louder and
Kate get into it. Yeah,
have an opinion. But we slowly realize they have differing opinions on this.
Yeah, Louder's pro censorship.
She's pro censorship.
It sounds like porn is a top. She brings it up immediately.
Yeah.
That's like nobody should just be able to pull that up.
That is. She argues that being pro censorship on the internet is good, and it's a very conservative opinion.
Yes,
and I think a lot of that is tied to the pornography element, the family values-ness of it all.
Yeah.
She's like, there's a lot of garbage out there. You can't just let people say whatever they want.
Yeah.
So, and Kate sort of goes back and forth, and she's like, I don't really think that's a conservative opinion. I think that's more about your other beliefs than it is about your political beliefs.
Well, it kind of gets into like, I don't know, it's like a religious conservatism versus a regular conservatism.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the Drew Carey show doesn't decides not to get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, although they do eventually with they bring on an all-timer, a conservative influencer. has settles the debate
at the end
pretty
here.
Quickly.
But anyway, it gets kind of like nasty between Kate and Mrs. Lauder here, where they get like into like physical appearance. It turns out Lauder, I clocked this the second she did it, calls out those fucking weird glasses that Kate's got.
Yes,
by
she calls them Groucho glasses.
Well, she's like, do you have a nose for those Groucho glasses? Like you've already got the mustache.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Oh shit. Kate calls her a grandma, and then Lauder has had enough, and she fires Kate there, and then Kate will not get that women's fashion job. She doesn't even have her makeup job anymore.
Right. She lost her makeup job. She's out.
Yeah. So that's not how she wanted it to go, and that's probably not how Oswald wanted it to go either. He's there like, oh no, no, my girlfriend who made the money is gone.
Well, he makes money. You don't think he's out there making?
You think
I bet you he's in a union.
Ooh, interesting. I don't know if he is.
I feel like those package guys all got to be in unions.
Yeah.
The delivery guys.
That's true.
That's a brutal job
Oswald
if you're
the
not.
Teamster.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's driving around.
He actually leads the local 337 in Cleveland.
Yeah. No, he's at the hall. From there, this is why I know he's not in a union, because Kate is able to get a job immediately in the next scene.
So where does Kate go? She goes to Oswald to get a job.
Global Parcel. She's there working with him on the truck.
Hat.
She hates it.
Yeah.
She figured out what the whole job was about 5 minutes in, she says.
Yeah, and Oswald's like, don't you love it? You could just sometimes you can just space out and then the day's done.
Yeah.
So
But Kate does not love it. Kate also doesn't like the whole driving aspect. Seems to be not great with her. They get hit by a bread truck.
Yeah,
and she starts fighting with the delivery driver for the bread truck.
The bread truck cut them off,
Yeah.
and then she flipped them off, and then they start fighting. She throws a box out. Oswald gets upset that she threw a box out. He's like, that's the one thing you don't do.
That is, in his defense, the one thing you can't do. You can't get rid of the mail like that.
And then they start getting pelted with
those packages
bread.
are good packages that get delivered to other people's apartments when they're supposed to go to your shitty
when
kid.
They're supposed to go to Boca Raton.
Don't you understand, Kate? You can't just throw it in the truck. So they get in a fight. The bread truck starts throwing bread, and then he forms an alliance with the milk truck, Solidarity.
Yeah, the milk and the bread man.
Yeah.
Working together.
They're throwing cartons. They're throwing loaves of bread. They don't stand a chance. So then Oswald fires his girlfriend.
Yeah. Which she handled that well.
She did. She
didn't like it. She didn't like the job.
At that point, she's used to being fired, I'd say at this point.
So we're at the office now the next day. I just like the opening here, Mimi walking through, and she's like, in an effort to make the mail more efficient, it's now self-serve, and she just dumps it all on the floor.
She's like, go get it. Go get it.
So anyway, she starts... she goes over to Wick, and she picks up the phone on her old desk.
Yeah, it's ringing.
It ends up being Wick's mother.
Mumsy.
And she decides to use this as leverage to get Wick to give her the buyer's job.
Yes, she wants the women's fashion job very bad, and she will give him the phone if he agrees to get her the job. And crucially, she'll drop her lawsuit.
Yeah.
Which is, that would put the whole thing to rest. If I was him, I would have done this. I think it's kind of silly he didn't do this.
Yeah. I get it, but... Well, yeah, I guess I don't understand why he didn't. Like, I guess he got insulted. Did he get insulted right away? Like, I don't quite understand.
I think he had mom on the brain, dude.
Because
this dude fucking loves his mom.
It really would have fixed all his problems.
Yeah.
Like, why not just do it? And now he has to get... as we come to find out, he's going to file a countersuit. So they have this whole argument. They blow up, and...
you know what it probably really is? He couldn't do it. Because he would need to get Louder to agree to it.
That's
probably what it is.
Yeah.
And
that would be a bigger issue for him, too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you don't want to piss off her.
So, anyway, long story short...
Mimi hangs up the phone on his mom after calling her a mad cow.
Yeah, and then Wick's upset, and he's like, you never piss off a mama's boy.
I've never seen him go quite nuclear like this.
Yeah, he screamed.
He got almost fucked when Drew shaved his boss's dog, and he was more cool with that than a woman hanging up on his mother.
So now he says, I'm going to file a countersuit for defamation of character.
Yeah, not only are you not getting that job, and I'm going to keep going with this lawsuit, but I'm fucking suing you now.
Yeah.
And she's not happy.
She immediately is...
She realizes she fucked up.
She fucked up, and she doesn't have great ground to stand on in this case.
No, that is true. As we get to in the next step,
then I'm like, oh,
she's kind of screwed.
She's kind of screwed at a countersuit now too.
Yeah. They're all screwed though. I think the moral we learn here is that everyone's a bad person. That's kind of where I'm at with this. Yeah. So
anyway.
right there, Drew.
Miss Louder comes down.
Drew invites Mrs. Louder and Kate into his office at the same time to try to bury this hatchet. He wants Kate to get her job back. He wants Mrs. Louder to feel like, she can understand where Kate's coming from and vice versa. Yeah. So he decides if the angle is going to be this is a conservative opinion, she needs to hear it from a conservative official.
Yeah, so a conservative, unlike any other.
Right. Well, capital C, conservative.
A superstar conservative.
Yeah. So, and then out walks Rush Limbaugh, a conservative radio personality giant. Rush Limbaugh. I think
Rest in peace.
He got some before he died from the thing. He got like an award from Trump, right? He's
Trump
he's got a Medal of Freedom or something.
Yeah, it was like. Yeah, it was one of the things during a speech. Was it a address to Congress or whatever?
Yeah.
And
it was the State of the Union. He got it pinned on him. Yeah. But before he was dead in the ground, he was on the Drew Carey show.
On the Drew Carey. Him and Drew were buds, I guess, because they were kind of chummy.
It kind of. Look, I don't know. Drew Carey now very clearly politically left. I think it's obvious. But I think, back in the 90s, I think about the guests we have seen on this show.
Grew up in Ohio, man. I know we like to pretend that's a purple state. That is not a purple state.
Well, but it's not even that. He's he's probably more libertarian than anything else. Yeah. I think he was one of those guys that probably listened to Rush Limbaugh and was like, yeah, he's conservative, but he's not like my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hates black guys in a different way. I think that's kind of what the vibe was.
Right.
So I don't know. But, I just think Rush, we've had Penn Jillette, who's not a bad guy, but he's definitely a libertarian bro.
Yeah.
And Trump have all been on the Drew Carey show in the first 3 seasons.
Come on, we're our liberal icons.
Yeah.
When are you going to get Bill Clinton on here?
James Carville guest stars on the next episode. So Rush Limbaugh has an interaction with Mimi. He basically wants her to get the hell away from him.
And we should say that Rush Limbaugh is only there because he was at a book signing down the street.
That's true. And Drew ran into him and explained the situation.
Yeah.
And he very kindly lent his time to be at Winfred Louder.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Louder's head over heels for this guy. He's the guy that she listens to. She's like, well, don't you agree that censorship on the internet's a good thing? And no. Rush Limbaugh agrees with Kate.
Yes.
We can't censor on the internet, even if there's a lot of bad stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's freedom of speech.
Free speech. I don't want to tell anyone what they can and can't say.
Yeah. So, he makes a joke then about should Kate get to keep her job? And he's like, well, if Bill Clinton got a chance to keep his job.
Yeah.
It's a very 1998 joke.
Yeah.
But Kate gets to keep her job. Mrs. Louder is like, well, if it's all right with Rush, it's all right with me.
Yeah, it's all right with me. So, and then Rush, then we come to find out that Rush is helping him out too because Drew offered him free tickets to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right. There's always a bribe. Always a bribe.
They're going to go together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the two of them
just palling around.
Yeah. Having a beer and drinking at the I guess you're not drinking at the Can you drink at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I've never been.
Going to Cleveland, dude.
We got to figure it out.
You and I got to book a trip.
We could do it this fall. We got to figure it out.
I can't do this fall.
You can't do this fall?
This fall is so busy.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll do it next year.
Sure. Yeah. 2026.
2026 trip to Cleveland.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway.
We get the credit scene. Just a fun little goofy. I miss when they used to do these.
Yes.
It feels like now we don't get as many of these, but it's like a sort of off, non sequitur one. Western themed. Mimi walks down a hallway. Drew comes out. Everybody goes by. Did you catch the one little detail I liked, which is a tumbleweed made out of paper blows behind Drew?
Yeah.
It's perfect. They pull out their silly string. They go to spray each other, 1, 2, 3, draw, and they somehow spray everybody but themselves.
Yeah, the office is massacred. There's silly string everywhere, and there are bodies lying on the desk. And
we get
the floor.
some very dramatic death scenes from Wick and Kate, who collapses into Oswald's arms, and everybody's covered in just sprayed along the ground, and they're fine. It's fun. I like
just
that.
A fun little
it's good
throwaway.
Yeah. I was a fan of this episode. I thought it was good.
Yeah, good ep.
Solid ep.
Next is 17, ep 17, The Engagement. Also like this ep.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder what this one's going to be about.
Right.
It was what we're building towards.
Yes.
This is it. It's just it's upon us.
They didn't really. I mean, you knew where it was headed, but you did. They really waited till the very end of the episode.
Yeah. No. Quite literally.
So we're at another office to start, and we get another
cameo.
But we love cameos.
I don't think he really got like applause.
Yeah, maybe we didn't get maybe like now it's like, oh my god, but then
look who it was. It's like when people see like Bryan Cranston on Seinfeld as the dentist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Look, I know that guy now.
That's not a cameo.
But back in the 90s, you're like, no, that's just an actor. That's a man doing a job.
Yeah, just trying to get money.
We see Eugene Levy of Schitt's Creek fame. Second City, is that right? I'm trying to think. No, that's it. Right, from Canada, Second City TV,
voted top 5 eyebrows all time.
Oh baby, I'm putting him number 1. I couldn't think of anybody else with stronger brows than Eugene Levy.
Anthony Davis, that's it.
Oh, it's true. Okay, yeah, AD. But Mimi is in his office, and we get the vibe that he's some sort of like psychologist, therapist, or whatever. Yeah. And Mimi's there to kind of recruit him
for her case
to be the star witness at her upcoming trial.
The
expert witness at her upcoming trial.
Drew Carey would have to be the star witness.
That's true. He saw everything. Yeah. Oh God, I just realized we're going to get another legal thing with Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're totally going to get him testifying in that thing.
Well, I feel like I wonder whose side he's on, though, because he doesn't really like
He doesn't like either of them.
He doesn't like either of them, and he doesn't like the position he's put in. He's caught on to the whole scheme.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd testify. Oh, God, I don't know if they bring him up. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. We're not talking about it. That's a future episode.
It's speculative.
Yes.
Which is also a legal term.
So
jurisprudence.
Anyway, Mimi wants to hire Eugene Levy as her expert witness, basically to say she's ruined for other men.
Yeah. Wick has caused psychological damage with her and this, that, the other. I don't think Eugene Levy thinks he has to try that hard to prove psychological damage, but I think in her favor is going to be the problem here.
Yeah, he's more interested in her as like a study.
Right. You know? Well, he asks if, does the distress that he caused you make you wear that garish makeup, is what he says.
Yeah.
Garish is such a strong adjective.
We really came at her with that.
I
I thought she was going to punch him.
Kill him with kindness. Well, no, she goes, if you mean pretty, and I hope you do. No, I do this all the time. Yeah. And then he's so fascinated by this that he wants to make a case study out of her.
Yeah.
I think I don't think. I know she thinks he's flirting with her the whole time.
Yeah, she does.
She's like, he just asked me out on a date. What are we doing here?
But then at the end, she's pissed off enough that she's like, if you see someone with multiple personalities, why don't you ask to borrow one or something?
Yeah.
So,
and then right after she leaves, we get armed security coming in.
Yeah, I guess he called armed security.
Yeah,
for honor.
He had the button.
Didn't seem that crazy.
He had the button under the desk, and it just wasn't there fast enough.
Not the Matt Lauer button.
Not the Matt Lauer. That's a different button.
Different button under the desk.
This is the one that just tells cops, "Hey, help me!
Help me. That's
I'm
like
in
the
danger."
bank teller button.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mimi leaves, and just like it's one of those blue cash things that explodes in her face, but you don't even fucking know because
of her makeup, her garish makeup.
I could write this show. Yeah, so that's our opening. We come back, and Drew and Lewis are hanging out in Drew's living room.
Yeah, just a couple of boys opening their mail.
It's Valentine's season. That's what we learn. He's opening a Valentine from his mom.
Yeah,
and we get a good little debrief, I think, about how his family life is going. His dad has prostate problems.
Yeah,
so
he should get it checked out.
Get it checked out. And then she's got a recipe for him on the back that's high fiber, which Lewis points out, great for the prostate.
Yeah.
Very pro-prostate ingredients.
And it's filled with tinsel.
Is it? I missed that.
It just blows up on Lewis, and he's like, that's why I didn't. Drew's like, that's why I didn't open it. So, anyway, they're just opening mail together, and they start talking about this Valentine's Day dinner.
Right.
This
is where
Drew
that recipe might come in handy.
Yeah.
He's going to have him, Nikki, Oswald, and Kate. And then Lewis was like, oh, well, can I come with Pinky? Now, If you don't remember Pinky, Pinky is the weird mouse girl we've heard about.
Yeah, she's like the test subject at Drug Co.
Yeah, she's just a human woman that thinks she's an animal.
Yeah, a gerbil.
Yeah, gerbil girl. Yeah. She's like drinking from the water bottle and shit. But we've never seen her up to this point.
No, we've heard those things are still going strong.
Yeah, he wants to invite her, and I guess Drew says, yeah, sure, that's fine. So you get a knock on the door. And it's a police officer. This is weird to me.
Yeah, this is weird now in hindsight because it never comes up again.
Yeah, it's like, are we planting a seed for later? Or
yeah.
Anyway, the cop is out on the prowl investigating suspicious noises that were heard yesterday.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, well, what could the noises be? Drew thinks, he heard like, flatulence or something. But no, he heard Drew's neighbor murdered her husband. I'm not going to bury the lead there.
Yeah. Drew's neighbor chopped up her husband with a meat cleaver.
Yeah.
And
not only that, it was Drew's meat cleaver.
Yeah.
Lewis
was house sitting
and
let him borrow it.
And she came over and was like, oh, I need all this stuff. And like...
So now Lewis has to go give a statement down at the police station.
Yes, which he seems very familiar with. The cop hands him the card. It's like, here's the directions. I know where it is.
And then Oswald comes in. And he's like, yeah, did you hear about I just heard about your neighbor. It's crazy because I just delivered a giant freezer and surgical parts. And then the police is like, we're going to need a statement from you too.
I'm familiar with where that is.
Yep.
So the boys are all now together and
that's just where we leave that.
Well, for now.
Yeah.
Probably forever. But yeah, Drew, I wouldn't knowing that my neighbor murdered someone. Wouldn't be a pleasant thing. I wouldn't sleep easy at night.
I mean, I guess he goes into... I assume she's in police custody now. Or she made bail.
God, I hope so.
Or she made bail.
Did you have... I feel like maybe if we talked about this before, did you have like a local like murder suspense story in your neighborhood?
No. I wish.
Yeah. We had a woman, not in my neighborhood, but like in my like town who owned a pizzeria. And she murdered her husband and then tried to get a local construction company to dig a human-sized hole in their backyard. Crazy shit.
You can't go to like a legit company.
Yeah.
That's when you get the day laborers outside Home Depot.
Yeah.
All right. That's when
no questions asked.
No questions asked.
I just need it.
Hey, I need like an 8 foot deep,
6 foot tall
wide hole in my backyard.
Can you do that for me? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no, I think what did her in was the guy asked what it was for, and she was like cagey about it. Which also...
You also got to have a plan.
You got to have an alibi. You got to have like a whole thing ready to go there.
I'm planting a big tree.
Yeah, I'm planting it. It's got deep roots.
Yes.
Deep roots. And it's square.
Yeah.
But no, so that's where we leave it because Oswald has bigger news than a fucking murder. Oswald is moving in with Kate.
Him.
He's going to move in. So he's moving into her apartment because obviously she's not going to move in above the bar.
Right.
That would be fucking nuts.
Right.
But Lewis and Drew do not like this. Lewis makes a little more sense. He's going to need a new roommate.
Yeah, he
probably feels a little betrayed by losing his buddy. But Drew is more like, I just think it's too soon for you guys to move in together.
Yeah, but then he starts messing up because Lewis is like, oh, you just are mad that this is going to push you and Nikki to...
Right, to do more. Oswald's like, you're probably not ready for that.
Yeah.
Drew's like, no, I think me and Kate could move in together to be
and
fine.
Then he starts mixing slips up
and
a few times.
It becomes very clear he's more upset about the Kate element of this.
Yeah, he has feelings for her still, as we know.
We've got some unleft business at the Bahamas. Was that where they were?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was Bermuda. Bahamas.
Come on, pretty mama. We did this bit on that episode.
Jamaica. All right.
Kokomo. Yeah, so, we kind of... the next scene is Oswald moving out from above the bar.
They're in the bar apartment, and
they're making it happen. They're packing
up
boxes.
They're packing up Oswald's princess phone and his stuffed animals, which I was like, also a character trait we didn't know about, but sure.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just sad shit. Who cares? He's a weird guy.
He's a weird guy. He does have the weird thing though. The princess,
weirder than the princess phone.
Princess phone and stuffed animals aside, that's not the weird thing. Is he has his stuffed parakeet. pet parakeet.
So, and it's not even
taxidermy.
It's not even like well taxidermied. It's like mummified almost.
Yeah.
Like it's like this little shriveled gray animal. I didn't even know it was the parakeet. I missed it. It looks like a weird shriveled person.
It's just a weird shriveled little bird that has died
in
clearly a long time ago that he is now preserved.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, no, that's not coming with us. And then she pretends, I think, to toss it to Lewis, or maybe she
goes to toss it to Lewis, and Lewis couldn't give a fuck about this bird.
just lets it fly out the window.
Right out the window
crashes onto the sidewalk.
I need to understand, though, the layout of that apartment. No, maybe not. Well, no, it's still Lewis's apartment.
Yeah.
Because, like, I thought where she threw it out was the roof of the bar. Because they've reached down and, like, the actual bar is there.
It is. So it fell 2 stories.
Oh.
Yeah, there are windows on the second stories of buildings.
No, I understood that.
Access.
I understood that. I just didn't. I thought it would I thought there was more to the bar kitchen area. I thought whatever. Anyway,
we all have ideas in our head of what it should look like.
I want it to be like this. I don't like that it's not like that.
That's like the people that, for some reason, I always get. If the Seinfeld apartment were real on Instagram, it actually wouldn't. The hallway to Kramer's would not work. It would run right into Jerry's bathroom, and I'm like, you guys are so fucking right.
Yeah,
it's like they lied to us.
Yeah. It's almost like the whole thing wasn't real.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So anyway, bird broke. Bird go bye.
Bird's gone. Sets Oswald off. Like you've never seen him this mad.
Yeah. This is just a series of episodes showcasing male rage. The theme is male rage on this week's episodes of the Drew Carey Show.
So anyway, they get in a big argument.
They have to
storms
leave.
out.
Yeah.
Oswald storms out after her. Oswald comes back. Biggest part of this is Oswald comes back and he just says it's over.
Yeah.
And Drew's like, oh. Well, I never thought this relationship was right from the beginning.
Thinking the relationship's over because of this bird.
So he reveals a lot, and then Lewis is like, no, the argument's over, but fuck you.
Drew fucked up real hard, by the way. He's like, you were lonely and she was convenient.
Yeah.
And he probably thought with little Oswald.
Drew said way too much, way too fast on this.
Also about people that even if they broke up, he would still be seeing both of them regularly.
Yeah.
Like, fucked up big time. And Oswald realizes he's kind of shown his hand a little bit, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
So he realizes what this is about. It's more about it's more about Drew being jealous of what they have,
and how he doesn't have it.
Right.
And
I can't tell at this point if Oswald has clicked together that what he wants is his girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, what do you mean?
Because I can't tell if Oswald realizes that Drew is lusting after Kate. Because I think he's maybe more in a world where it's like, oh, well, you're just upset that we're in love and your relationship isn't like this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's pieced together the Kate of it all.
I get it. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with it too. I don't think that he realizes that Drew's in love with Kate yet.
Yeah. I don't even know if Drew fully realizes it. I think he probably does.
Drew definitely does.
Yeah. After
he just won't admit it.
All of that shit, at the island and everything.
So now we go to the office now, and Drew has a polygraph. He has been tasked with
preparing
Mr. Wick for. Is it? Wait.
For the trial.
It's for the trial.
I think.
And now I'm just like, but why the fuck is Drew doing? Why has Drew been dick? Because his name's on the show.
Yeah, well, it's because, I guess, if Mr. Wick needs busy work done, he goes to Drew Carey.
Yeah, so anyway, Drew has Wick hooked up to the polygraph, and instantly we find out that Mr. Wick's pretty bad at this.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like, I hate being bound, tied down like this, and the polygraph's like, nah, yeah.
That's gotta be a really fun noise for the just me making a lie detector sound.
Yeah, that was for you guys at home.
Enjoy that. Yeah.
So he skip 15 seconds. We're just gonna do this for 15 seconds.
He's very bad at it, but also, isn't he kind of in a way good at it?
I mean, he's telling the truth.
If you're telling the truth,
But he doesn't want to tell that truth.
Right. He's bad at lying, which I don't think is a good thing. All right, maybe I'm sorry. I mean, it is a good thing to be bad at lying because you should be honest.
You're swearing on the Bible when you're in court.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
That means something, I think.
In Cleveland, it means everything.
In Cleveland, it's yeah.
In Ohio, in God's country,
in the
yes.
Paris of Northeast Ohio.
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, he's really bad at it. My favorite line is when he describes. He's like, "Oh, I hate this. I'd rather be put in a dress and passed around by drunken sailors." And
yeah.
Nothing goes off.
So
at this point, though, Mimi comes in and decides that she is going to take the polygraph, and she keeps bragging that she's really good.
Yeah.
She can, So Drew's like, all right, well, let's start you off with some easy ones. Mimi Bobek, did you invent the automobile? And she kind of pauses for a second.
She's clearly staring off into space, laser focus, and she's like, yes.
Nothing. It's true. What she thinks is true.
Yeah.
So then Drew decides to make it even a little harder, and he's like, all right, so how about me and you lather up in some baby oil and slip and slide?
Yeah.
Which, what a weird way to describe what he's getting at there. But yeah, she has to focus super hard here, like Super Saiyan mode.
Yeah.
Swallows deep breaths, and she goes, that would be great. Doesn't go off as well. She's a god, man.
She's ice cool. She's ice cold.
She's a crazy lady.
Yeah. And then at this point, she kind of storms away,
Yeah.
and Wick leaves. Oswald comes in.
Well, Oswald's just doing his job.
Yeah.
He's there to deliver a package
angry.
to a backstabbing bastard named Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he delivers it, and it's in this moment we find out that Oswald took a compatibility test.
Right, via a magazine.
Kate's
magazine.
And he's like, actually, Kate and I are perfect for each other. And Drew's like, well, you can't take it by yourself.
Right. That is the crucial flaw that Oswald has done. He took a compatibility test with just one person.
Yeah.
So the two of them decide, well, we've got this dinner date that we're going to do. Even if we're upset at each other, let's try to ask our partners questions from this compatibility test and see if they agree with our answers.
Yeah.
And they're going to tally up points, and whoever wins, I guess, has the better relationship. So that's how they decided to do this. And then we go to night of the dinner. I like that we get a moment, even in the midst of all of this tension.
I love this.
These boys just jam out while they're making dinner.
Yeah, they just do a little weird a cappella thing.
They're making a symphony of sounds with the dinner. Drew's banging on the meat. Lewis is on the shakers.
The salt shakers.
The salt shakers. And Lewis, and then Oswald's cutting greens or something, kind of rhythmically.
Cutting parsley or something,
Yeah.
or basil. He's like, you never can find fresh basil, at this time in the year.
But yeah, so the ladies come in while they're doing that just to see how everything is. And that's sort of when the festivities begin. I like the way that they did this and I'm sure they played the sounds live.
Yeah.
But we get this lower third that shows Drew and Oswald, and then their point counters. And every time they ask questions and their partner responds in the affirmative of what they would want,
yes,
we get a point, a ding. And
so the
every
girls
time
aren't in on it at all.
They got no clue what's
they
going
are
on.
Truly just
they're
playing
dark.
a game with themselves.
Yes. And then once we get the positive sound, the ding, and then we get a negative sound, which is again it's that lie detector noise again.
Yeah.
We're just really getting our money's worth with that sound effect. So they start going through a bunch of different questions, kind of slyly.
They're talking about kids. They're talking about sex in the morning or afternoon or at night. Public displays of affection.
Do you like talking about sex publicly?
And we should also bring up that Pinky's here.
Oh, yes. I forgot about this whole thing.
Pinky and Lewis not playing the game.
No.
Just having a ball to themselves.
They're playing a game of their own, though, if you know what I mean.
Lewis is Pinky is very obviously taking cat vaccines or something.
Lewis warns that there's this experimental cat medication she's on that kind of makes her a little wonky right now. We're introduced to her leaving a little. We introduce to her leaving a bathroom, and she's kind of kicking her feet the way that cat do when they're getting out of their litter box.
Yeah.
In the process of this podcast, I have become a cat guy. I don't know if we've said
you are
this.
a cat guy now.
I'm familiar with many of these
expert.
tendencies. Oh, I don't know if I'm a cat expert. I'm getting there though. For sure.
Yeah.
Love my cat. Love
Wow,
Helga.
your whole growth. It's crazy.
Yeah. The arc that I could understand. I don't know if these jokes would have landed with me, a human man, a mere year ago or whenever the hell we started this podcast. But yeah, no. So she's wiping her feet. She's trying to cough up a hairball at one point. It's fucking weird. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Pinky. Weird name, too.
There was a point where Lewis, there's a salmon croquette, and she's she's batting it around with her hands.
Yes.
And then Lewis
That's
is
how
like,
she's
you want
getting
it,
it
you
off.
want it, and then he throws it into the kitchen, and she chases it.
Yeah. It's
So-
good. She's very clearly more animal than person. She would be
Yeah,
taking a
yeah.
shit at the Bronx Zoo if she had her way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we keep going with these questions back and forth. Kate calls it out even at one point, being like, "What is this 20 questions shit that we're doing?"
Yeah. But they don't give it up.
No.
They don't be like, oh, we're actually just doing the compatibility survey.
And they keep both of them aren't doing great, but eventually it ends up that Oswald's in the positive.
yeah,
And Drew's down big.
he's down -7. Oswald's at 3.
Yeah.
So-
Oswald climbed his way out of a hole.
Yeah,
Drew
yeah.
is deep in the hole. And then at one point, Oswald asks Kate a question that I don't even know if it was in the compatibility test. But he's
Yeah.
like, when do you think
He didn't have a ring.
he didn't have a ring? He's like, when do you think people should get engaged? And Kate goes, I think when they have a look in their eyes and you know that they're in love.
Yeah.
And it's right then and there. He gets on one knee and proposes in Drew's kitchen and asks if she'll marry him.
Yeah.
And she gives a very emphatic yes. You can feel it emotionally that she's really gung-ho about it. Even though, to your point, he didn't have a ring. I don't think he would have ever had a ring. I don't know how well the union pay at Global Parcel is. But it's,
you got to have something. Can't he get a little ring?
It seemed
pop?
very impromptu. And they've only been.
It was really
to
good
Drew's
for him.
point.
But they are moving. Yeah, they're moving in together.
They're moving in together,
fast.
which is fast. This is very fast, I would say. And to that point
This
of it feeling
could fuck
fast,
the whole thing up.
Yeah, this could fuck the whole thing up for sure. But you know what? It's going to fuck up faster, Drew, because in Drew's competitive mind, he needs now to get Nikki on board with getting engaged.
I was so mad at Drew.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty rough because they're having this whole moment and Drew's watching it. And then he turns to Nikki and he goes, look me in the eyes. And she's just eating. She's just looking at him, so disinterested and confused.
And he was like, you want to get married?
Yeah. And she goes, yeah, sure. And it's he's like, we should be doing that, the kissing. So then they start kissing. And then everybody gets excited that they're going to get engaged.
Actually, Kate and Oswald didn't even realize that they got engaged because they were too busy
being in
kissing.
love.
Yeah.
They were too busy being in love.
So they really seem like they have something, but then they all have a moment where they're like, oh my God, we're all getting married. And they hug, but
Well,
Drew,
in case you didn't know, they make it very apparent at the end, Drew goes, yeah, this is a great idea. And we hear,
yeah.
yeah. It's,
Nothing subtle with this show.
I didn't anticipate 2 engagements. When I saw the engagement as the title, I was pretty sure that it was going to be Lewis
and
It was
Pinky.
going to be Oswald. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Lewis and the cat girl. No, I thought it was going to be Oswald and Kate. And then for it to also be Nikki and Drew is kind of crazy. And Nikki is new this season.
Yeah.
I know we've been
and
doing
she
it
has been
for
all
months.
over the place.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Bad vibes. Bad vibes.
Nikki's giving me worse and worse vibes
as it goes on.
She was much.
But here's my question: the way that when we were talking about her weight loss thing or her weight gaining, her issues with controlling her weight, I feel like that's Drew influence.
Yeah.
So do we think that maybe just it's her? Obviously they're not good together. Do we think he's making her worse?
Well, definitely.
1,000%.
It has to be. I feel like that's what the show's getting at.
Yeah. It's just that Drew is
having this
Drew, you gotta love yourself
negative
first,
effect
dude.
on this person.
Yeah, he's gotta love himself first, and then the rest will all come. And thank
she's
you.
more and more insecure and everything.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway,
Then
you know
the
what'll
last-
help is an engagement and a wedding to plan.
Yeah. And then the last scene is they're at Lewis's place above the bar.
Yeah,
His bachelor pad now.
yeah.
And Pinky's there, and
they're making some moves. They're hanging out.
They're making some moves. He's pouring her some wine.
Yeah.
He starts talking about what kind of wine it is, and then while we were watching, it cut out.
Yeah, the audio cut out.
So and now we're just watching.
We're watching silent film to an extent.
The
two of them go into a back room.
At this point, I'm like, it must just be the copy we're watching for some reason, whatever. And then they just, they keep talking. They get a little, look in each other's eyes, and they go into the back room.
And the door closes, and I thought it was just going to go like to black.
Yeah.
But then we get credits on top of it.
And it just holds on the door.
And it implies that there's like, oh, we're supposed to be hearing something here.
Yeah.
But we heard nothing. And then it paused.
Shane was like, well, it's got to be cat noises.
Yeah, it's probably just cat. It's probably like meowing or something.
It's got to be, yeah.
And then in the midst of it, and again, it happened at the top of this episode, your girlfriend Isabella comes out, and she's like, I think my headphones connected to your laptop.
And I was like, which has happened a few times recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait. Okay, did you hear cat noises?
Yep.
And she was like,
did.
yes.
So what we missed was just the word like delicious or something, then just a bunch of
yeah.
So anyway, just to reiterate what I said earlier, I will get a time machine. I will go back to 1998, and I will write for the Drew Carey show.
Yeah.
Bruce Helford and Drew Carey, please take my spec script. Please take my spec script. Also, if I'm traveling back to 1998,
I hope you're not a baby.
September 10th, 2001, we have to do something. You have to listen. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I hope I'm not a baby. I would be 3 years old when this episode came out, probably. Yeah.
Writing for the Drew Carey show.
Yeah, goo goo gaga.
Oh, shit. Guys.
So that's where we're at. I don't think it's going to end well for Drew here.
I think... Do you think both engagements failed or just Drew's?
I think probably both.
Yeah, I think they both have to fail.
I think we want to reset and go back to normal probably for season 4.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because this feels like a lot happened quickly for them. As much as Lewis and Oswalt and Kate are giving good vibes, I feel like a reset's needed.
I think that's correct. But,
also, Kate goes away, right, at the end? She's like...
Well, she's not there for the whole series, yeah.
She's not there for the whole series, so there's no way that they stay married.
Yeah.
Even if they did get married. Maybe there's a wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be. Oh, you know what I wanted to bring up, too, while we're here at the end here?
Yeah.
The Drew Carey Show is now on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So we launched in the last episode our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ClevelandRocksPodcast. You can listen to all the episodes there. And then I swear to God, like 2 days after, and we didn't really time it like this, but we knew that the DVD box set was coming out.
And
we talked on the last step. You could stream them now. Like you can pay to stream them on like Apple
there's
TV
ways
and
to watch
shit.
now that we didn't have, honestly, when we taped the first episode.
Absolutely. A year ago, we didn't even know this was going to be an option. But now they're uploading. They have their own YouTube channel, and they're uploading episodes for free there. I think their plan is literally to upload every episode to YouTube, is what I've read on like their posts at least.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about.
So check it out. Follow along with us
if you want to start
guys.
from the top, you should go watch the Drew Carey Show on YouTube and then listen to the podcast episodes after you do that.
Yeah. If you can't tell, we do talk about the episodes in order.
In case it might have been really subtle, but we're doing them in order here.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was fun. But also, while you're on YouTube, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and check it out.
Cleveland
We're
Rocks
just
Podcast.
putting our eps on there.
Yeah, we're doing it. And we're still on Instagram, Instagram.com/Cleveland Rocks Podcast. And if you would like to send us an email, if you want to tell me how I'm committing mail fraud, if you want to do any of that, you can go to clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it, guys.
We'll see you in the next one.
Later.
Bye-bye.